This is the Detroit Sports Podcast Network.
Hey, this is Brian Peña. I always join the Vito podcast, the best podcast in the United States.
This week's Tigers Talk podcast is brought to you by The Athletic, premium coverage for passionate Detroit sports fans. Tigers Talk listeners can get 20% off the first year of an annual subscription by visiting theathletic.com/DSP. Doc, as you know, one of our fine sponsors at the DSP Network is the Detroit Sports Commission. And since 2001, the Detroit Sports Commission has applied its expert touch to marketing and to selling the Metro Detroit area as a marquee destination for regional, national, and even international amateur sporting events. And through the Detroit Sports Commission's help, these events have attracted thousands of visitors and pumped millions of dollars into our local economy. It is why Detroit is now not only the place where champions are made, but also the place where championships are played. To find out more about the Detroit Sports Commission and all of the events they are bringing to our very region, please follow the DSC on Twitter and on Instagram at DET Sports, and make sure to check out their fine website at DetroitSports.org. And welcome to the latest, the freshest edition of Tigers Talk with Chirco and Company. I am your host, Vito Chirco, along to my usual sidekick and broadcast partner in fun. That is the Doc from Doc and Jock, John Charles Macaroon. John, how are you doing?
Vito, always good to see you. Always enjoy talking baseball with you. And another great week where we got an in-studio guest. Who we got joining us today? I'm looking forward to listening in on the conversation. You are the man of the people, man. When you reach out, people come. So it's really cool to see who we got today in studio.
Warren D. LaSalle High School, corner infielder, 2017, Michigan High School Baseball Coaches Association, Dream Team selection, in 2016, Division I state champion, Bryce Bush. Bryce, how are you doing?
I'm good. Happy to be here.
Well, glad to have you on board. And you know what? I wanted to go outside, play some catch. We had talked about it. It's pouring out there. I know for you, you're probably like, well, what the heck? If I want to play catch, I'll go and play it.
Yeah, I know. I mean, it's a good day, good 60 degrees outside. It's very rare, especially this time of the year.
Beautiful weather. I mean, this is baseball weather outside of the rain. A little bit cool, actually. But for Michigan, this time of year, like you said, hey, we'll take it, right?
Yeah, it's way better than playing a Catholic League game in 35-degree weather. So.
And I bet you still might get some of that.
Yeah.
You've dealt with it, so you're used to it. Yeah. So now, how about this? Let's start off by talking about how you started your baseball career. How did it start?
Well, I've been playing baseball ever since I was 3 years old. Like, I always had the dream of being an MLB player. Like, I would sometimes just go outside. Like, if I go with my friends, we would like pretend to be like other MLB athletes. We would bat like them and everything, play wiffle ball, hit a home run, run the bases. So, it was then after all of that, I went into travel ball. Well, I got kicked out of T-ball and coach pitch because they said I hit too hard.
You were too good. Oh, my God. I never had that problem.
So, when I was about 7, I played with the Hit Dogs for the first time. And, we probably one of the best teams around at that time, too. Played with them for about 2-3 years. First, I played up a few years, and then I stayed down because I wanted to, stay with my regular age groups. Then we went to Athletic Republic, and that was probably funnest time of my young baseball career. That was probably our best team we had so far. And of course, my dad was the coach every year until I was 12. Then I went to play out in New Jersey with the team called Gallagher Select. Then we went around, went to Florida. We did all travel. Same thing with the Hit Dogs too. Then I stayed with Jersey for another year and a half. Played with Tri-State Arsenal. That's where Alex Rodriguez and Mike Trout played for in travel ball. Then this year I played with, because I committed to Mississippi State, there was a couple kids that I met that were committed there too. They played with a team called East Coast Sox. That's who I play for now, so I know that was the right decision. That's probably, it's based around religion. And I go to a Catholic school, of course. That's probably, it's like no program better than East Coast Sox.
And you traveled all over the southeastern United States. Yeah. Going from Atlanta to Baton Rouge to New Orleans. So you had quite the traveling experience. And, I mean, how big of a grind is that, Bryce?
I mean, this was probably last this past summer is probably my most busy summer. It was the longest summer, but it was probably my favorite summer so far. Like, I started off, I went to, after high school, I flew straight to Florida for the Perfect Game National Showcase. Then I flew from there, went to Chicago for the Breakthrough Series. And after that, I think I went home for maybe a day. Then flew down to Atlanta to play in the WWB World Series in Lake Point in Georgia. Then I think stayed there for about a week and a half. Then I flew back to Michigan finally for another about 3 days. Then I went back to Chicago for, I forgot what it was called, but it was some Chicago thing where they like have some kids just play at the White Sox stadium. That was a pretty cool experience.
Growing up, who were your inspirations? Who were you pretending to be when you and the friends would get together and play?
Alex Rodriguez.
A-Rod.
Yeah, I don't know why I liked him so much. Like, every time his batting stance just looked so sweet to me when I was a kid. I used to just bat like him when I was younger. But and I played third base too, so.
Now, I read that you're an alum of the Reviving Baseball in Inner Cities program. Yeah. Major League Baseball's RBI program, which has produced Major League talent, current and past. CeCe Sabathia, James Loney, Coco Crisp. What was that like for you going through that program, and how has it helped you out in your baseball career?
For me, I was pretty surprised because, usually inner city kids, they don't really play as much as, or travel as much as we do. But those kids are, they can keep up with anybody across the country. Like, they were all just good. Like, it was even kids, committed to D1 colleges you would have never thought of because of where they lived. So it was met a couple good kids, and lifetime friends now.
What about baseball drew you to the sport? I mean, you said you loved it as early as 3 years old. Obviously, you had friends that loved it. What about the game of baseball made it so that you kept it up? Because, like you said, right now, when we look around, when there are nice sunny days, even though today's a rainy day, you don't see a lot of people like when I was younger playing in the streets. You don't see baseball being played by a lot of young kids. For you at the time, what made it so that you wanted to stick around and play this great game of baseball? Because I loved it. I used to play in the streets quite a bit with my friends. That's what we did in the summer. It'd be wake up, eat, and then go outside and play in the streets or play in the tennis courts by the local elementary school.
Yeah, maybe more tennis than baseball, Doc.
Yeah.
I don't know if I truly believe you playing baseball, but anyways.
Yeah,
Bryce.
So, baseball, it ran in the family. My granddad played, and my dad played, my uncle played. But my brother, he messed it up. He played basketball. But include going along with that, baseball, it's of course I made some of my best friends in the sport, of course. Then it's the one game that you can play that's mainly involved with failure. With the failures, it happens so much, and to be good at the sport, you gotta have a strong mental toughness, So, and that's what made me a better person, overall.
100%.
You have to have that tough mental psyche. You fail a lot more than you succeed. That's why if you hit 300, as you know, you're a stud. You're an all-star year in, year out.
Hall of Fame.
And that's 3 out of 10 times you get a hit. I mean, that's crazy. I wish I could actually do that when I was playing. I couldn't even do that. I couldn't even hit 3 out of 10 times. I mean, that was me. So a lot of failure. But you're right. I think through sports in general, but especially baseball, you're right, Bryce. You learn to fail. And it's all right to fail. You can't beat yourself up, though, regarding it, which I think is something tough to learn as a youngster. And maybe, was that the case for you where it took some time to develop that knowledge that you could fail and still succeed as a ball player?
Well, that's how, with my older brother, he always had a tough mind. I don't know how he got it, but it kind of passed on to me, too. It's it have been, games where I might go maybe 0 for 10 in, one tournament, and then it's wow, what's happening to me? But, it's I just gotta, keep it cool. Don't try to bring any negative thoughts into your mind when you're playing baseball, or more negative things are gonna happen. So I just try to clear my mind and just focus on my game, make adjustments, and then whenever I start succeeding, keep doing the same thing. So.
And I bet you have to really focus to hit the long ball. Now, I know for you it comes a little bit easier, than at least Doc and I. I wish I could hit a home run. Now, you hit 16 last season, a single-season school record at Warren D. LaSalle. Very darn impressive. And then on top of that, you participated in the high school home run derby at Marlins Park. I mean, that's crazy to me. And you were hitting long balls. And what was it like hitting home runs at Marlins Park.
Well, I gotta tell you, that weekend, that was my favorite the entire summer. Like, we got a free hotel room. They had free flights, free room service, they just took care of us, everything. Then they took us around. We seen some of the futures players, the all-star minor league players. And we stayed in the same hotel. And then we went to the field, hit some BP in Marlins Park, just hitting home runs into the seats. It just felt amazing. The next day, we actually did the home run derby. It was just an unexplainable experience. It was like, you just felt so special. Like, you can't explain it.
So amazing. So unreal. I wish I had that experience maybe one day covering the All-Star game. We could be there and covering the home run derby. And did you have the chance to meet some Major League Baseball All-Stars while you were there too?
I didn't actually speak with them because they had security, of course. They wouldn't let us pass. But I walked past them in the under the stadium, in the locker room and everything, the players' lounge. I tell you, Stanton and Carrera, some big dudes.
Are they massive dudes? I mean, they look massive on TV.
Yeah, but I think Altuve came up to my shoulder.
Isn't that something? You can be, whatever height.
He can hit.
He's a stud. MVP, he's a stud. Now, A-Rod was there. I just thought of you with A-Rod because of you bringing up A-Rod before being an inspiration. I know he was covering the All-Star game for Fox, and now he's this big-time broadcaster. So he's doing pretty well for himself. And I know for you, a lot of your hitting ability, it comes down to your power, and that's the sexy part of any hitter, right? But you can hit for average, too.
Yeah.
541 last season, another single-season school record at Warren De La Salle. So you can hit for average and hit for power. Well, if you can do that, there's nothing else you have to do as a hitter. You can succeed at, all levels. Now, what do you think is tougher for you? To hit for average or to hit for power, actually?
Probably to hit for average. Because to hit for average, you got to actually make good contact with the ball and get on base. So that's probably the hardest thing you can do. Squaring up a baseball. No, people talk about how easy baseball is. That ain't true.
No.
Probably one of the hardest sports you can play.
So is that more meaningful then, that single-season batting average record at Warren De La Salle to you than the home run record?
Yeah, I was more surprised about that one.
So now, what goes into your training as you approach a season now, your senior year for Warren De La Salle? What goes into a training, in the offseason just ahead of an important season for you?
Well, of course, I'm going to keep doing the same routine with the bat. But I know I'm probably not going to get pitched to a lot this year. So I just got to stay focused, keep my head in the game, make sure I don't let anything good go past me. And main focus right now is fielding part, basically, because now I'm also playing outfield, too, because I got the speed for it. So now I got to work on third base and then outfield, too.
And let me read this scouting report on you from Perfect Game. You already brought up Perfect Game.
Mm-hmm.
Defensively, Bush has played all the corner positions, but it will be his bat that carries him at the next level. When you hear that, what does that mean to you?
Well, that means my bat is probably one of the best around, knowing a Perfect Game, because, they talk about all the best players in my age group, all the best players in the country. So that really means something.
So that Perfect Game site, Doc, now to inform you too, they hailed themselves as the world's largest baseball scouting service. Yeah. And you were rated as one of the top 50 players in all of the country last year by Perfect Game. And now you're a part of the preseason Midwest region high school dream team, which just dropped today. That's just crazy. How do you deal with all the accolades and all the expectations that come with those accolades and rankings, such as that?
No, I stay humble. Try not to focus on that. Just try to focus on the future, what can make me better as a person and a player.
Now, we can talk about the future, and I do want to get into that. But back to my alma mater. I got to talk about the Pilots and what you did in 2016, winning a Division I state championship. And you had the game-winning hit. So he had the game-winning hit, this guy right here, but also the game-winning out. The last out of the game on a double play and a crazy victory over Saline, 7-6. Talk about what it meant to you to be able to record the game-winning hit, but also to catch the final out of that contest.
Well, that championship week, that was my favorite high school experience so far, winning the championship with my team. So, that was probably the funnest I ever had in my entire high school career. And getting the game-winning hit, that was at the time, I was kind of sick that weekend, too, so I didn't really think too much about it. But then later that week, I saw it on the news, and I was like, man, it felt really special at the moment. Yeah.
So what went into that at-bat? What were the thoughts going through your head leading into that at-bat where you recorded the game-winning hit?
Yeah, I think it was might have been 1-2 count. I was like, if it's a strike, I got to swing at it anyway. So he threw me an outside curveball. I just sat on it and then took it up the middle. Then got a hit, scored 2 runs, up 1 run, did my job. So I was happy.
Now, how much does your at the plate approach change when you're down in the count? When it's 1-2 or 0-2? Does it change significantly? Because we see some guys, even at the major league level, and also like Joey Votto. You've seen him, right, where he chokes up. Mm-hmm. It's crazy. A guy like that, he's a big dude. He's choking up when there's 2 strikes to just get a single. Mm-hmm. How about for you? Do you significantly change your approach at the plate when there are 2 strikes on you?
Personally, I don't change anything because I go into the box. It's just like something just clicks on. I don't hear anything outside of the field. I'm just focused on myself first and then the pitcher. So I'm usually focused onto that in my bats.
Interesting. So for those that are listening that may be starting off in their high school career and they want to improve being a hitter, what can they do in terms of, outside of maybe spending time in the batter's box and practicing, what can they do to make themselves a better hitter and as proficient as you are?
Be a better hitter. You got to make sure you're not swinging at bad pitches. And go up to the plate thinking, I'm about to get a hit. That's what you want to think first. Then make sure you swing at your pitch. Don't swing at the no garbage the pitcher gives to you. If it's not your pitch, let it go. You get 2 strikes on you, then you got to protect the plate. Then anything close, you're going to have to swing at it.
See, I'm always choking up, and I'm not swinging unless it's good, because when I hit it, it's not going too far. But you know what? I learned this from my dad growing up. The strategy really was to be disciplined at the plate, to take your pitches and not to swing at something outside or out of the zone, and to chase and to help out the pitcher. You don't want to help out the pitcher. So swing at what is in the strike zone or what you really can connect on. And then he also taught me, I wanted to ask you about this, an up-the-middle approach. Have you been taught that throughout your career to always aim for that up-the-middle for you at the plate?
Yeah, I had coaches tell me that, but if the ball's not going to be thrown where you can hit it up the middle every time. So I just practice on like hitting line drives wherever the ball is pitched. So that's basically it.
I know one thing, Dak. My brother would love to talk some baseball and hitting with him. He's a big-time baseball guru, self-proclaimed guru, but he does know something. He can play a little bit, and a little bit more than me, too. Now, wanted to ask you also about, if you were to go 0 for 10, go into a major slump like that, how hard is it for you to bounce back after that kind of a tough stretch at the plate?
No, it's really nothing you can do at the time. You got to change something, and then if you think you might not even change something when you actually start to hit again. Like you might not even change a thing at all, but then you start hitting again. It's just it's all about your mindset basically. The better you are, at that time where you start to hit again, just keep doing the same thing. Then you start to struggle again, then start to change something up again.
You told us you were committed to Mississippi State. What was the recruiting process like? Because Vito and I have never been recruited for anything other than hard labor and hourly work. So what was it like to go through that process? Were there other schools? Was there something in particular you were looking for? Take us through that process, because it's really exciting, because you were wanted. Somebody wanted you to join their squad, and it's really cool. Congratulations from Vito and I. That's really awesome. Mississippi State is where you are committed to play. What was that like?
Well, my freshman year, I had a visit at Michigan. Then later in January 2016, I got an offer from Florida State. That was my first offer.
As a freshman?
Yeah.
That
was my
sophomore year. You got an offer.
And,
okay.
After Florida State, I don't know. I've always been Florida State, Mississippi State. I don't know. I always liked them growing up. I don't know why, but those are my top 2 schools. And then first to get an offer from Florida State at the time, that was big for me. Then Mississippi State, that was the best baseball environment or college environment I've ever been in my entire life. You go down there, it's everybody loves, Hail State everywhere. They just love the sports, all the athletes. They love everything. They support crazy. It's unbelievable. You go to a game. Went to my first football game this year, and I tell you, I couldn't hear a thing with those cowbells. My ears were hurting afterwards.
And so you meet the coaches, you meet the players, you take in some of the action. They take you on campus. What were the activities that kind of drew you in when you were there on campus? What was the visit like?
The official visit, it was nice. They took us out to dinner. Then we all had fun with some of the players on the team, we went to like it was like some kind of haunted house thing. I almost had a heart attack, so it was actually pretty good. So then next day we went out for breakfast, hung out with the team again, and went to tailgate. Then they showed us around the entire campus. Pretty nice. Everybody was nice. So.
And so at that point, midway through, are you starting to formulate like, look, this is a vibe I like. I'm enjoying this time here. I think this is the place, but prior to reviewing it with your family and things like that. But did you get a sense then on the visit that I think this is the place that I'm comfortable in? I think this is the place I want. You said it was one of your top places. Did the visit really kind of stamp officially, I'm going here?
Yeah, I mean, it was much
they did the
better
job.
It was much better than Florida State. I'm sorry to say it.
Yeah, that's what it is.
No, we want the truth.
My opinion.
Yeah. We're here for a reason to speak the truth. Okay?
They got you signed. Yeah, they wowed you. And so they put on the thing that needed. They recruited you in the way that got you to sign. So what was it like? So officially, have you signed to officially play for Mississippi State? Yeah. What was it like getting that paper, knowing that you earned, based on your talents and hard work and things like that you earned a scholarship to play baseball, your education's taken care of based upon your talent, and I'm sure it was a proud day. What was it like when you put ink to paper?
Yeah, when my AD, Mike Watson, gave me the paper, I read it over. Then on the last sheet, it showed the scholarship percentage and the amount of money. And I was like, this is crazy. I really put in the work to get a scholarship like this. So it was pretty special.
Congratulations, you earned it.
Yeah, thank you.
And congratulations from me as well. That's a big-time day, I know, for you and your family. Now, going to Mississippi State in the very tough Southeastern Conference, as you know, and it's not just in football, in baseball as well. What are your expectations going into your freshman season?
Well, of course, I picked the SEC for a reason. It's probably one of the top or the best conference in baseball. So, I don't expect it to be easy at all. In my mind, I got a feeling I'm going to do pretty good there.
And that can only help out your Major League Baseball draft stock.
Yeah.
Now, have you started to think about that, about being drafted, what it'll be like?
I already contacted just about every team. They contacted me. And the worst part about it is the in-home visits. That's like the weirdest thing you can do. Because they just come into your house and just talk for hours.
Hours?
Yeah,
like about just life in general, other stuff? What do they talk to you about for hours? My goodness.
Well, they want to get to know you. It's really...
conversation we're having.
It's really nothing about baseball. They know what you can do. They just want to see what kind of person you are, how you live. Are you a messy person? Are you mean? Stuff like that.
What was the most unusual question that you thought, maybe you shouldn't even be asking me this?
Not really.
No, nothing out of bounds. Good.
No,
all professional, all good.
One question that got me was what is your legacy?
Oh, okay.
Interesting.
It took me a good minute to actually answer the question, but I told him it was about my legacy was coming up from an ambitious standpoint. This kid came up to this level of baseball by coming with this mindset of just no negative thoughts, all positive mental toughness.
That's great. I'm going to put that to Vito. Vito, what's your legacy? What do you
My
want
legacy is that I've been a superb podcaster for the Detroit Sports Podcast Network and a great man on and off, or in and outside of the podcast studio. I'll say that much. Now, so they're trying to get to know what you're like off the baseball diamond as well. I guess, what are you like off the baseball diamond? We know you're a great baseball player, but what are you like away from the baseball diamond?
I guess I'm a pretty nice person. Well, it's hard to talk about myself. I don't really do it much, but there's really nothing I can say.
Well, you're a humble dude.
Yeah.
And now you've had these in-house visits with these teams talking your ears off. Mm-hmm. And, have you peeked into where you're ranked currently, among Major League Baseball draft prospects? Have you peeked into that and found out about that? And do you really care about that kind of stuff, Bryce?
Well, I don't know. They won't tell you anything, but they'll just say they're highly interested in signing you out of high school and stuff like that. Honestly, it's you won't really know where until around the draft time comes. They won't tell you. And if you give out a number, then you can either mess your stock up.
Yeah.
So,
kind of sway them away from you if it's too high, right?
I don't really speak about any of that yet.
Now, have you thought about when you get drafted, is there a certain round for you, spot in the draft, if you get drafted that you'll forego going to college, going to Mississippi State? Have you given that thought yet? Bryce?
No, me and my advisor, we didn't talk about any of that yet. So he said we're gonna talk about it soon. But like Ron and all of that, it's just like, what, like, would that be the smart thing to do? Either go the college route or the pro route, because the pro route, it is pretty hard. I understand all of that, but it might be the right move, it might not. So yeah, I don't know yet.
And it's a long process. People don't understand it, too. In baseball, not only is it mentally tough, right, and a grind, but all the years you have to put in the minors, right? Single A, double A, triple A, rookie ball. I mean, think about that. People don't even consider that. And like LeBron went right from high school to playing in the NBA from day one. Like you wouldn't go and play in the majors for any team on day one. It's just a long process, isn't it, Bryce?
Yeah, and plus, you go to college, that's even longer for that, too. You got to go through the same route you would if you went out of high school anyways. And a good thing about the draft is you sign, they pay for your college, too. But, like, after you retire, you get 2 years left. If you don't use the college scholarship plan, then you lose it. That's the good thing about it.
So you're a senior this season, and you have a new head coach, Eddie LaSalle, and Dave Zelmansky. Now, your previous head man, Matt Cook, I had as an English teacher at one point. I don't know if you had him as a teacher, too.
Yeah, I did, too, twice.
I liked him a lot as a teacher, by the way. And he won a state title. He did pretty darn good, from my knowledge, as a head coach, too. As a head coach of the varsity baseball team at De La Salle. Now, this new guy, what do you know about him so far?
Well, when we had Cook, he is, of course, a goofball in the classroom, but when he took it to sports, he took it serious. The new coach, Coach Z, he's a good dude. He cares about LaSalle a lot. Like everything is like De La Salle first, De La Salle this, De La Salle that. We have like meetings all the time just to bring the team together and talk about team first before anything. So I mean, his vision about this year, his goal is to win the last game. There we
go. That's a great goal to have in mind, huh?
Yeah. So. And plus, this year we're going to Florida for like a little spring training trip. So he's really trying to prepare us to have our best senior year possible. And plus, we get new jerseys, practice unis, and everything.
Team Adidas from Top Cat Sales. I think I know something about Top Cat Sales. Okay. Now, they've been a sponsor before, too, the podcast network. Mm-hmm. Now, back to Coach Z. It's always great when you have a fellow alum, fellow pilot coming back and coaching. I mean, that's great, too. He's the new head baseball coach. And kind of pivoting now a little bit from that, from your baseball career. And we want to pick your brain now on some Major League Baseball news and notes. All right? So, first and foremost, Tim Tebow. Sandy Alderson, the GM of the New York Mets, recently came out and said Tim Tebow is going to be a major leaguer one day. Okay, I find that interesting because, I know he played in high school, but not in college, and really a big time. Why? Why the heck does he deserve a spot in the majors one day? Now, maybe he'll prove himself before he gets there, but it sounds like it's going to be an attendance ploy, a ploy marketing-wise to get people into the stands at Citi Field. That's what it's all about to me, and that smells. It's not a good thing, and especially, I bet from your vantage point, I'll let you speak, give your own opinion, but you're a guy moving up through the ranks, and this guy who's just a celebrity is going to just join the majors all of a sudden. Doesn't seem right to me. What are your thoughts on it?
You said just a celebrity. He was a good football player.
He was a great football player, an athlete first, but now he's a celebrity. But yes. Yeah, you're right.
He went to play baseball, minor league baseball, signed not a lot of money. He can play. He can actually play the game. Like people, they'll talk trash about him, but he can play. I seen videos of him hitting home runs, getting hits, and winning games for his team. That's what they're looking for in the major league. So I think he can do it. As long as you can play the game, they'll want you. So,
yeah, he's got pop. Yeah. He's a bigger dude, has bulk to him. You have bulk to you, but you can hit for average, too. You can field. Can this guy field? But he has some baseball instincts, to be fair, right, to Tim Tebow, because I know I've kind of been slamming him here, and I have in the past, too. I think Doc remembers when we've talked about Tim Tebow in the past and his major league career, whether or not there is something for him at the major league level. And you know what? If he proves it, in the minors now, in spring ball in the minors moving forward with the Mets or somebody else, then he has all the right in the world to be a major leaguer. I just want to see him prove it. That's all I'm trying to say, I guess.
Yeah, I think that's the only way he can prove it is with his game.
So
if he keep it up, I mean, he might be a Met player one day.
He might be a member of the Metropolitans. He might be one day. Now, a guy that's already in the majors, Miguel Cabrera. I think you know something about him. Now, he's been a third baseman. He is a first baseman. And when I say that, it reminds me of you because of you being a corner infielder.
Mm-hmm.
Now, had a very bad year last season, no doubt about it, where he wasn't hitting for power, wasn't hitting for anything. He couldn't do much of anything. And, he was dragged down by some nagging injuries and some stuff off the field. What are your thoughts on what we'll get out of Miguel Cabrera as Tigers fans? Or, I guess, are you a Tigers fan to start off?
Yeah.
You are a Tigers fan. Great. Okay. Because this is Tigers Talk. What are your thoughts on Miguel Cabrera and what he'll produce in 2018?
Well, funny thing is I actually seen Cabrera walk out of his physical therapy place on Woodward.
Did he look good? What's the report?
I took a picture with him. This was like my freshman year in high school.
Oh, okay. Okay.
But yeah, last season he didn't do his best that I know he can do, which he did in the past, Triple Crown winner, So I think I heard he had like some family problems back in Venezuela. So I think that could have had something to do with him like not working so much. Or
Off the field stuff, yes. Off the field stuff.
As hard as he used to. Maybe that was in his mind when he was playing as well. But lately I've been he's been posting a couple of videos. He's been working out.
Been working out with LeBron's trainer. I know he was working out with LeBron's trainer at one point, trying to get back into shape.
Yeah, like he looked much better than last year. Like
well,
he looked like he lost weight. He looked like everything.
They need a heck of a season out of him. They want to be even close to relevant in 2018. Speaking of that, what are your thoughts on the Tigers and what to expect from them? How many wins, how many losses from the Tigers in 2018?
Well, after I don't know, like all the trades they've been making, like a few years ago, they got rid of like players like Doug Fister and then Cespedes. Then like recently, JD Martinez left, and then Verlander, of course, one of the best pitchers in maybe of all time. But personally, maybe these trades will help them like get more players because they just need. I think they just need some pitching. Like they all can hit the ball pretty well. Like Castellanos, he smashes balls. I think JD might be a little underrated when they got rid of him. So
now you were a fan of the Tigers, and so one of the biggest debates last season was obviously Verlander was traded. He goes on to Houston, wins the ring. Are Detroit fans still allowed to claim Verlander and latch on to that success? Because I'm of the opinion, no. The second he was traded, his affiliation with that old English D is done. Until he comes back, look, we got the memories. We got the times that he gave us. Great. But all in all, he didn't give us that ship. He didn't bring it here. He's got there 2 times to the World Series, and they didn't bring it home. So once he goes to Houston, done. Affiliation's over. He's now a Houston guy. But a lot of people are still wearing that number 35. They still claim Justin Verlander. Are you allowed to claim Justin Verlander as a sports fan? Even though we're Tigers fans, he's now in Houston.
Honestly, I don't think so either.
Yeah, that's right. I like that. Good answer.
Oh, it doesn't count for the Tigers. Tigers have to win it themselves as an organization, right?
Yeah.
So Verlander's gone,
Yep.
and it doesn't mean, it didn't mean anything to me. Did it to you? Did you get a little bit teary-eyed? Because, Doc made fun of me for the first no-hitter that JV threw. I cried a little bit, I said. I told him, and now he can't forget it. But when he won the World Series this past season with the Astros.
Vito didn't cry, though.
I didn't cry this time. I'm a little bit older and I'm more mature, okay? But, was it meaningful at all to you because you were a Tigers, have been a Tigers fan, and he was a member of the Tigers at one point?
I was happy for him. He got traded to another team, a good team, of course, and the entire team deserves to win. Like they made it that far. They put in the work to even make it that far. And then they got a good pickup, good pitcher. So that's
good for them.
That's good for them. So
congratulations to you, the Houston Astros. Now, will they repeat?
Of course they got more competition now. They got the Yankees are stacked. Got a stacked.
God, they're
lineup.
Stacked, aren't they?
Ooh.
Stanton,
Judge,
Sanchez.
Wow. Sanchez, and don't sleep on Sanchez too. Didi Gregorius.
Wow.
They're loaded. Their lineup is loaded. I think for me, it's a rotation. How good is Tanaka going to be? A guy like that. CC now coming back. He's an aging vet, but he was still productive last year. How productive is he? That rotation is the big-time concern for me if I'm a Yankees fan. What do you think?
I've watched the Yankees play against the Tigers. They just had a little struggle, like, throwing strikes. Like, their closers, they throw hard, but they just got to hit the strike zone a little more. The pitching comes on top this year. They got a good chance because they got it in the lineup for sure.
That's a monstrous bullpen, isn't it? And then Chapman at the back end of games to close out games. How do you hit? Have you ever had to try to hit a guy that throws that hard, 100 miles per hour, 100 miles per hour plus?
I faced 98. That was it. Not 100. What did he hit before? Like
103, 4, 5.
105.
Like that.
God, it's just like get there in the snap of a finger.
That's not even human. I mean, and now, is it harder to hit a pitch 100 miles per hour? Now, you haven't, but let's say 98 miles per hour, or like a really nasty curveball or off-speed stuff. What's harder for you to hit?
I mean, the hardest pitch to hit is probably a good fastball, but if the fastball doesn't have any movement, then I think it's real easy.
Easy, a straight fastball, four-seamer, two-seamer that moves.
He got like a good two-seam.
Yeah.
And that's some dangerous. That's a dangerous weapon right there.
No doubt about it, man. My goodness. Have you gone to Chirco Park quite a bit? And the question I would ask you is because people are now wondering about the state of baseball in terms of pace of play, in terms of young fans like you, in terms of, hey, how do we grow this game? How do we keep the success? You know, they're always kind of looking at pace of play. They're looking at making the game more appealing to young millennials and things like that. Are you okay with the state of the game? Do you feel like when you go out to Chirco or watch games, are you cool with sitting for 2.5 hours, or is it a little bit tough to sit and watch in this day and age for you?
Honestly, I would rather be at a game watching it live than watching it on TV.
Yeah.
It's just like the experience live is so much better than just watching on TV. TV is kind of boring.
Gotcha.
Sorry, Doc.
No,
No, we all like going.
no,
We do.
100%.
Now, I'm going to say, so for me now, when you go to a game at Chirco Park, I don't know if I'm a, scaredy cat or whatever here, but I get nervous when I sit close to the field, like right by the dugouts. I don't think anybody's ready for those line drives coming off the bat at 100 miles per hour or 100 miles per hour plus. So I don't like sitting that close because of that. Now, for you, when you go to a ball game, where do you like to sit?
Probably close to like the first base. I mean, I like those seats, but like I don't trust it.
So you know it yourself.
like
and this
it.
is a guy that can hit,
Right.
can feel, knows a thing or two about baseball and playing it. I mean, that tells you right there. I think that's telling. And now they have that extra netting, which is great.
Yeah.
And they should have done that, in my opinion. We've talked about it before. They should have done that a long time ago.
Yeah, I like the first 5 rows in the upper deck on the third baseline. You can see everything. You get good depth perception, so I don't have to sit in the lower bowl at Chirco Park. You can enjoy the game for the first 5-10 rows in the upper deck, and it's really inexpensive too. So Chirco Park has great sight lines. It really is kind of underrated, but I do enjoy it. Have you gone anywhere else? Have you seen any other classic ballparks?
I went to Wrigley.
Nice.
That's
That was
classic.
nice.
Yeah.
We sat a little bit behind home plate.
Very
but
nice.
it was like a little bit up. It was a perfect view. Like you could see everything.
Now, which Tigers player this year, in your opinion, could outperform expectations? Exceed expectations?
Maybe Castellanos. Probably him and Cabrera probably hit the spotlight the most.
I can tell you, like,
or Romine.
Roma.
Yeah.
See, Romine's gone. He was claimed off
he got
waivers by
traded
somebody.
too.
He's gone now too. All these guys,
See,
man.
I
I mean,
haven't
think about
been-
this. Well, it's hard to keep up all these transactions, but I can tell you, like Casty, his ability to mash, and I think he'll keep hitting for power. He showed really good signs in the second half of last year, but can he sustain it for a full season? And then Jamer Candelario, I like him, third baseman. Cabrera has to bounce back. Vmart has to bounce back. Before I let you go, we're almost done here, but before I let you go, the best pitcher in the majors and the best hitter in the majors, who are those two individuals?
Best hitter. I give the best hitter to probably Altuve.
Mm-hmm.
Because one
Solid.
The little man can.
little man with extreme power and speed, good base running skills, and he hits for average, of course. And he was the MVP. So then best pitcher, I'll probably get I don't know about pitching. It's a lot.
Pitching's a little bit. I was
going
going to say, how about Max Scherzer? I thought of Max Scherzer right away. He's up there. Clayton Kershaw.
Yeah, I love
It's
watching
tough.
him pitch. He always talk to his glove all the time.
He's an interesting dude,
Yep.
isn't he?
Nah, probably Kershaw.
Okay.
We had Bryce Bush in studio talking baseball. Always enjoy it. You can follow him on Twitter at Bryce, BRYCEC Bush.
Bryce, with that being said, thank you so much for joining us in studio this week on Tigers Talk. Best of luck this season at De La Salle, and best of luck in the future at Mississippi State and in the majors, because I know you'll be there and very shortly.
Oh, we'll talk again. I enjoy it. When it comes time to the Baseball World Series, oh my God, College World Series, we'll have a chat again. I can't wait, because hopefully you'll be doing some things in the SEC. So don't forget to make time for those that gave time to you.
And once again, you look great in the Team Adidas gear.
Thank you. Yeah. Thanks for having me.
Thank you. Have a great one. Bye-bye.